Hey, it's nice to have you back here in this new video. Today, we're going to talk about the Insta360 X3 once again. Coming next in this video, not only I will share with you some update on the X3 and my content creation such as this package, but I will also share with you one of my most requested feature about this camera, that is an active HDR in the single lens shooting, and why I need active HDR in the single 4K lens shooting mode. So now let's get started and dive right in. My name is Guo. My YouTube channel is dedicated to 360 photography, video, accessories, and some cutting technology. Now let's get started. So first thing first, just want to give you some quick update on my Insta360 X3 because I have covered some of the third-party accessories for the X3, and the X3 also has a little firmware upgrade upon its initial launch. Here's a brief package designed by StartRC, which you can search for this item and you will come across with nicely designed package for the X3. And inside the X3, I can put my cables, accessories, quick readers, and everything else inside this package. And on the bottom, I can place my X3 with the rubber lens cap inside this nicely protect pouch. But here is something that is interesting. Here's my brand new stickers for the X3, because now my Insta360 X3 has been a lot more different compared with the others design. Here is my latest skin stickers for the X3 to make my X3 very unique and also very attractive in a social network. So I just want to use this sticker to protect the baby skin material on the surface of this camera, because I've been scratched my camera body during my content creation. I just want to use a sticker, just as my Insta360 X2, where I had covered with some nicely built stickers. The sticker design is not designed by Insta360, but it's designed by a brand called Sony Life. Here you can see I also have front and back, and here it is. And here, yeah, that is some basic update on this Insta360 X3. Beta test Insta360 X3 for quite a long time before the initial launch, and I have been experienced the active HDR in a single lens shooting mode in the beta test firmware, but in the official launch, the Insta360 engineers has cut off this feature. But for me, personally speaking, I need active HDR very much because
I'm now shooting with Insta360 X3 4K single lens shooting mode at 4K 25 FPS. You know, this is my favorite feature of the X3 camera, because this feature makes the X3 an excellent hybrid camera. And now I have turned exposure to the outer lens of my X3, trying to show you the beautiful streets in the early autumn. But you should notice that it's really hard to bring back all detail, especially the blue light, the blue sky, and the yellow leaves. I think this is definitely where we have to shot in active HDR, or it's impossible to reproduce the atmosphere in this shooting scenario. So the sky behind my face was totally blurred out. This is where we need active HDR, even in the 4K single lens shooting mode, because the video quality for the single lens 4K is great. It's definitely great. It's definitely usable. And after initial launch of the Insta360 X3, the Insta360 has made several minor firmware upgrades on the X3 as well, optimize the video quality of the single lens shooting mode, which definitely make the existing video quality even better. Another exciting new feature on the recent firmware upgrade, that is the audio quality has been improved, especially the audio focus. Once you turn on the auto focus, you get equivalent shotgun microphone audio experience. And if you want to know more about the audio focus feature, you can refer to my previous video. I have given you in-depth explanation on this hardcore technology.
With a single lens shooting on the Insta360 X3, you get to cover up to 170 degrees field of view. This is super wide. And even in the default FOV, when you shot at 4K 25, 4K 30, you also come across with around 150 degrees. So it's a large field of view that's gonna help you capture a lot more content, capture the light from every directions in the point of view. We might come across with high contrast scenarios frequently, just like we have with the 1RS with 4K boost mode. On my 1RS with 4K boost, I normally use active HDR by default. So when you capture with a single lens on the X3, you might come across with more high contrast scenarios compared with 1RS with 4K boost, because the 4K boost has less field of view compared with the 4K single lens shooting mode. This is technically possible for the X3 to deliver active HDR on a single lens shooting. 48 megapixel image sensor that perform sensor level HDR synthesizing to deliver to regenerate a 12 megapixel video in real time in up to 30 FPS. That is to say, when we change to the single lens at the FOV plus, the single lens with FOV plus, we get up to 2.7K with up to 30 FPS in active HDR. This is also very useful, very usable in our content creation. So we can get rid of 2.7K at 60 FPS. We lower down the frame rate to half of the maximum frame rate. We get 2.7K at maximum 30 FPS, but with active HDR and amazing flow state, the horizon lock. So this is definitely another killer feature for the Insta360 X3, and that will definitely make the X3 more capable in our daily content creation, especially when we come across with nicely weather, with super bright sunlight and super dark shadows. I mean, this is my ultimate request for the X3 actually, because with 360 mode, with 5.7K active HDR, the result is pretty stunning. But I have to reframe, But for me, this is a hybrid camera. I normally use a single lens to capture my daily vlog. And the Insta360 X3 also has amazing audio quality, which definitely makes this camera a lot more useful in our everyday scenario. So if I only have to carry one camera, that camera will be the Insta360 X3.
But for the subscribers on my YouTube channel, you should understand that once equipped with active HDR on X3, you will not get 4K resolution because theoretically it's impossible. And the maximum spec you get is 2.7K at 30 FPS, but I think it's still useful in our content creation. And if you do want to experience the most exciting active HDR feature on the action camera, this is where you might have to give it a try on the 1RS with 4K boost. Because with 4K boost, you get maximum the 4K 30 FPS, because with a traditional action camera, it takes the fully advantage of all the pixels on the image sensor. We might come across with HDR shooting scenarios and very content creation, but if finally Insta360 doesn't bring back the active HDR on a single lens, we have to figure out the best possible shooting condition by ourselves. That is to say, to shoot the videos not in the backlight, but in the front of your shooting scenario. You better capture in 45 degrees. In front of your subject. At this moment, if you want to get the best dynamic range in a single lens shooting, not in 4K or 2.7K FOV plus, there are two bonus tips for you guys. Number one is to control the exposure really precise. I mean, you have to tend to expose for the highlight, and later in the post-production software to bring back the detail in the shadow areas a little bit. So the tips number two is to shot in log color size. So in the log color mode, you get a little bit better dynamic range compared with the standard and vivid. On the Insta360 website, you can also find this official LUT to bring back the color, the real color from the log color mode. Log color, which tend to be flat in your post-production. I think that the low color size tend to bring back a little bit more dynamic range. But these two bonus tips, it's not that breathtaking for the X3. The real power is to bring the active HDR back in a single lens shooting on the X3.
And I just want active HDR in single lens shooting mode very bad. Technically speaking, we can get up to 2.7K in FOV plus and maximum 30 FPS. But if we want to apply the active HDR in the default FOV, we might come across with less resolution. So theoretically speaking, for a 4K single lens shooting, once been shooting with active HDR, we lose 3/4 of the pixels. That is, so originally we get capture 4K, but we end up with 1080p. But we end up with 1080p. But for FOV plus, we get. But if you capture with FOV plus, we get a maximum 2.7K at 30 FPS. This is also very useful in your content creation. So Insta360 guys, if you are watching this video, definitely consider my feature request and bring back this feature to the X3 as quickly as possible. I think people will love it, and I think a lot of people has the same feature request on active HDR as well. So if you also want to add active HDR in X3 coming next firmware upgrade, please leave down in the comments and let me know. So stay safe, talk to you soon, bye.